So I've been doing this weightlifting for quite a while now. And I must say that the kind of theme that we kind of have is we want to improve ourselves every day. Like we want to look into the mirror and we want to see a better version of ourselves than we had yesterday. And there's a lot of ways we do that. People will hear the terms bulk and cut. When you bulk, you eat more, you lift weights, and you get bigger muscles, bigger physique. And then you get to a certain point, you want to get shredded, right? Especially for summer. You want to kind of shred and get the abs going. And so you cut, which means you're in a caloric deficit and you eat less and you work out and you start shedding fat. Well, sometimes you may look at yourself and you may not see exactly what other people see. You may see yourself in a light that's not flattering. And it's kind of normal, but sometimes it can get to a point where it can be damaging. So today on today's podcast, I have a guest and we will be talking with him. He has a great story. So tune in and welcome to the Rodney podcast. Okay, so today we have a guest, and I want to welcome Isaiah to the podcast. Isaiah, how's it going?
It's going great, man. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you can join us. And Isaiah, you can follow him on his Instagram, and I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's Great Isaiah. That's GR8, the number 8, and then Isaiah. That correct?
Great Isaiah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. The Great Isaiah, even though that's not part of the Instagram name, but it is the Great Isaiah joining us here on the podcast. And we're going to talk a little bit of fitness, a little bit of his story, a little bit of how he came to get shredded like he is. You got such a huge follow on Instagram. You're doing well, my friend.
Thanks, my dude. I'm super close to 10K followers right now, which is a dream come true. Ever since I started, I only had 400. So I've been just grinding, and I'm pretty happy where I am right now.
Yeah, that's great. So let's start here. I kind of want to ask you, this is about fitness and it's about overcoming maybe barriers or obstacles that may stop you from working out. So what are some of the things that you think stop people from achieving their goals and dreams?
I think one of the things that stops people from wanting to chase their dream is one thing that a lot of people lack is a purpose and motivation. Like many people want to start going to the gym, but they're like, why should I? And they just don't have a purpose. So they're not motivated and they don't strive to go out there and get the body that they want. Motivation is also, I think, a lot of people lack because they just don't feel motivated.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think we're at a time now, and I even mentioned this in my millennials and entrepreneurship podcast, is we're at a time now where I think people are going to either succeed or be doomed. And a lot of that is because, we do get lazy, we do get out of touch. And also, most importantly, we have this sense of just getting instant gratification of just doing something and something to happen right away. And I always preach patience. So what do you think about that? What do you think about just taking your time and trying to grind it out?
I'd say that's one of the most important things people have to do. People have to be really patient when you want to start your fitness journey. Like you're not going to see progress maybe in a week, 2 weeks, even a month or two, but you just got to keep grinding. Yeah. Even if you don't keep moving forward, it'll at least serve as experience. And you can always readjust whatever you're doing right now to keep moving forward.
Yeah. And so how long have you been working out, Isaiah?
For about 2 years now.
2 years. All right. And so how did you start out? How was it like starting out for you, lifting and working out?
Well, when I first began lifting, I was really not informed about what I was doing or anything like that. I basically just got into the weight room and I was going from machine to machine, doing whichever exercises, like how many ever reps I felt like doing. I just know I gave it my energy. but I wasn't really progressing because I was just going every day aimlessly, doing the same thing over and over, random machine from machine, not really targeting specific muscle groups at a time.
Yeah, and I kind of had the same thing when I started. I remember, I think for a full year, every day was a full upper body workout, never touched lower body, didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. And what about cardio?
Cardio?
Yeah, it seems like that's what a lot of beginners do. To, you kind of look in the gym. I know, at least for me, I go to the gym and I didn't know what to do, so I hopped on the treadmill.
I say cardio is pretty good, but I recommend beginners to stay away from it. Like, it depends on how your body is when you start out. Like, if somebody starts out like extremely skinny, I say to stay away from the treadmill. Probably only do it like once a week or maybe even less. But if you're like the type of person who starts out skinny fat, I'd say maybe go on it 2 or 3 times. And if you're overweight, it mostly depends on diet. Diet is what's gonna change how you look. Not doing excessive cardio.
Yeah. So when you started out, did you do a lot of cardio?
Loads of cardio. I used to do like around 60 through 80 minutes of cardio every day.
Oh my
That's
God.
why I didn't progress.
Yeah, that's a lot of cardio, especially for a beginner and especially somebody who may be pretty lean. Now,
I was well informed. I was not well informed, my dude.
yeah, yeah, and so I think you talked about, or you told me before the podcast about going to see the doctor and maybe trying to get some advice. How did that go for you?
Well, it didn't go too good because, as some of my followers already know, I was dealing with anorexia before I started working out, and I used to go to weekly doctor checkups, and they used to monitor my weight and seeing as it wasn't going up because I was basically not eating, or I was either eating and vomiting. My weight wasn't going up, and the doctors didn't really help me that much. They just told me to try to eat more, and they didn't tell me to do any exercise, which didn't help.
Yeah, and when you went there, did you ever tell them, like when you first started working out, did you ever say like, "Hey, I'm working out now"?
No.
No.
Okay. Because as I was at the verge of anorexia. I had like a big fear. I just started my fitness journey, and I had a big fear from the doctors stopping me.
I think it's very interesting because you talked about having this eating disorder, and I know there's people out there who may also have anorexia or eating disorders. Can you kind of dive in a little bit? Can you explain to the average person, maybe they don't know much about anorexia and what it is? Can you kind of explain a little bit about that?
Well, from my own experiences, having anorexia, it's just really, really unmotivating. It makes you really tired, really depressed. Most of the time, you don't really want to be around people. And most of the time, you don't want to even look in the mirror or try any new clothes from the fear that your body's either too slim, like too skinny, or either you think you look at yourself and you see that you're still fat even though you're not.
Yeah. What would you say to somebody who's listening right now and who may be suffering from the same disorder as you had? What would you say to them to kind of encourage them?
Well, if it were me, I'd probably tell somebody who's going through the same thing right now to stop doing that they're already good as the way they are, that they should start trying to eat more, because if they keep losing weight, they're just going to get into more and more problems. And, like if they keep losing more weight, it could be to the point that they might die, and you're just going to cause a lot of pain and suffering for yourself, for your family, and for your friends.
Yeah.
Wants you to die.
Yeah. And so, I look at you now and I can see you clearly have overcome a lot. And I think it's awesome, man. Kind of share your own journey. Like, how did you turn things around? How did you go from somebody who had anorexia to somebody now who is looking pretty darn shredded?
I'd say it all had to start when, well, at first I was just watching YouTube videos because I used to do that a lot. And then I just stumbled upon bodybuilding. And since I was like super skinny, I just was like really motivated after watching a lot of YouTube and pumping iron and bodybuilding. I was super motivated to transform my body. I wanted to do the same thing that the other bodybuilders did.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I gotta start my own journey. I want to get like those people in the videos I see. I want to get like those bodybuilders. So that's what I did, and I just started working out. Even though for like the first year I was stuck and I had nobody to keep motivating me or pushing me forward, like I lost all my friends. Because that's one of the prices you pay if you want to get like really serious into bodybuilding. But I don't really care about that much.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine without them.
Yeah.
But I just kept motivating myself, kept pushing myself forward, even though nobody encouraged me. And I'm at the 2-year mark, and I'm looking better than ever, as you know, dude. And now I'm getting like lots of people who motivate me and encourage me, which just makes me want to keep moving forward and keep bringing the best physique I can.
Yeah, and I agree. I think the fitness community can be a very encouraging one. And I think there's a lot of good people in the fitness community that can help inspire and encourage people.
Yes.
All right. And so to kind of round this up and everything else, if somebody's sitting there and this podcast, basically, we're trying to tell people and encourage them to follow their dreams, to go all out, never look back. What are some of the things that they should be doing in order to accomplish that?
I'd say that one of the things that most people should be doing to accomplish their dreams is mostly informing themselves on the topic and just working as hard as they can.
Yeah.
Because the more informed you are, the more progress you're going to make. If you're not well informed and you just don't know what you're doing, you're going to be stuck in the same place without seeing any progress. So you got to get out there and do your own research to know what's best for you and to keep moving forward. Yeah,
I agree. Hey, I want to thank you again for coming on the podcast. It's been great, Isaiah.
No problem, man. I'm pretty happy to be here.
Yeah, and
it's awesome to be here.
Yeah, and you see what I did there? I said it's been great, Isaiah, because his IG name is Great Isaiah, GR8, the number 8, Isaiah. Isaiah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, see you later.
See you.
All right. Once again, I want to thank Isaiah for joining us on the podcast. And I just want to kind of leave with this thought. And, if you need help, if you have any type of eating disorder or just any type of self-esteem issues, or if you have any, bouts of depression or anything, I hope to have guests in a few weeks coming up who can share their experiences with each of those topics. And it takes courage, and I really applaud Isaiah for coming out and just really talking a little bit about it. And there's much more we can dive into this subject. But the thing is, I just want to encourage you guys to talk to somebody who will listen, talk to a family member, talk to a friend, talk to your church pastor, find somebody to talk to and confide into, and get some help. So with that, I thank you for joining the Rodney podcast. Please listen to others, and I'll see you guys in the next one.